welcome back to Two Cheers, One Chat. We are your hosts, Derry Cox.
Rudolph Thurman.
Thank you for joining us yet another episode.
Yes.
It's so we get so excited when I may not seem like I'm excited to be here again.
Yes, you are. Yes, we are. We're excited.
Always excited to sit in these chairs and chat. Shout out to the Launch Studio for always having us here, hosting us here, whatever it is, you know what those words are. We appreciate it. We love us, family. So, okay, today's topic, but before I go into that, I hope everybody's staying safe and staying well. And I always like to say, staying prayed up and,
yes.
Keeping that full armor of God on, because it's a lot of stuff that's going on out there, and
a whole lot.
You don't want to get caught up. So be mindful, be careful. Today's episode is about love. Mm-hmm. We are diving in on love, different types of love. Expectations versus reality. Mm-hmm. And we are going to just run our mouths. We're here to have that conversation, and hopefully it brings awareness and help you to identify if there's anything lacking or missing, or things that you may be thinking that you're doing correctly that may be affecting other people in your life. Or maybe it can spark something in you to actually give love and understand what love is. I'm going to have Rudy here read a scripture from the good book.
Yes.
Go right ahead.
So we're gonna be covering love, like Derry said. But before we go into that, definitely want to start off from reading from the Bible, 1 Corinthians 13, on what it says about love. It says, "Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away."
1
Corinthians 13.
Yes, thank you, Ru, for sharing that. Yay, that's a good word. So it goes without saying that the love you feel from a friend, family member, or romantic partner are all distinctly different things. In fact, there are so many variants that make love what it is. The word itself almost doesn't cut it, right?
Right.
And so whether it's felt between family members, best friends, or people in a romantic relationship, love is one of the sweetest parts of life. With love comes trust, and the Bible does talk about that.
Right.
You just read to us 1 Corinthians.
Mm-hmm.
With love comes trust. There's openness and a complete lack of judgment. Mm-hmm. So there is no judgment when you want to talk about love, right? So sometimes it's hard to define, but for me, my go-to definition is and always has been putting someone else's needs before mine, right? Love is anything that nourishes you, or anything that helps you feel a sense of connection, belonging, worthiness, prioritization, safety, and most of all, trust. Yeah. So what do you have to say? You have anything to say?
Love. All right. So when we talk about love, it's, for a lot of people, it's a topic that they're excited about, and for some, they don't know how to process it, and a lot of times I feel like that's like based off of experiences, right? So whether it be experience of how you grew up, and some people grew up in families where they showed a lot of love, like amongst each other, and some may have grown up in families where there was not a lot of love, shown in the home. Some people never seen like any kind of affection. You could be going through something, and at times you needed a hug, and you didn't get that hug in that moment. And little did you know that as you grow, like, that was going to change you with how you interact, like, with people, right? Like, that can, in some cases, harden your heart, and you don't know how to feel. You don't know how to tap into certain emotions because, you know, you never got that. You know, while I said before, while there was others that did, and when they interact in the later years of their life, you know, they know how to show love, to people, to friends, to their partners, and I will feel like that is, when I say show love, that has to include caring for someone, being there for them, unconditionally, right? So you know that there's nothing attached, to it, right? So anything that you're doing is you're doing for someone is sincere, right? You're not going like tit for tat. It's coming from the heart, right? So it's there's so many different ways that you can look at love, and there's still a lot of people, even in our adult ages, that's still on the journey of finding love, and they're lonely, they feel like there's like a big hole like within them, and that needs to be filled. So when they see other people displaying ways of love, different affections and stuff like that, they don't know how to receive that. And so you have some people who want it, and you have some people that they get upset when they see it. But one thing that people need to know, love is beautiful. Love is beautiful, and no matter how much hatred is in this world, love is still stronger. And we'll be in a better place if we understand the importance of loving each other.
Right. All great points, Rudolph. I love what you say. I'm going to chime in here and say something.
Yeah.
Because as I was growing up, I had presents, meaning not gifts, but my family was present.
Okay.
So I didn't, they were there, and I got what I wanted, and my little shoes that I like, and my dresses, and my little things. But if you ask me about the hugging part and the caring part, and let me give you a hug, let me show you how I feel for you, it was more in, you have your 3 meals or 4 meals a day, you have the clothes on your back, you want to go out, I'll buy you an outfit so you can go out. I know all of that. But when it comes to like the hugs and the stuff that maybe some people do expect, I didn't have that.
Right. I understand.
I made a choice. And maybe I'm born that way, but I always had a loving heart. So when I hear this thing where people say they didn't see the love in their house, I didn't see the love in my house. Like my parents were there. My mother died when I was here in a couple months, but my aunt was there. That's who I call my mom. And I know she loved me, not by her actions, but maybe I would say by her actions, because she cared where I went. She cared who I hanged out with. She cared about me not getting in trouble, right? They may have been strict, but I know that's love, because when you care about things, you want to protect them. And I think some people don't think of it that way. They think of their parent being too strict to not let me go out the house. But that's love, because they care about you and they know the danger that's outside. That's number one. Number two, the choices I've made to, even though I wasn't hugged as I wanted to, I chose love. And I made sure that grew inside of me. And that may be another gift, because some people don't know how to love. Maybe they don't have the gift of loving.
Yeah.
And they adapt to it as they grow older. Now, as people grow older, and I'm no psychologist, I'm no doctor, I don't have a degree in any of these things.
Right.
But as you grow older and you become, you have relationships with people, what beats me is when people say, I don't know how to love you. Why are you here?
Right. Right.
Because that's a problem.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
agree.
and for me, the only advice I would give to people who say that at an older age, and I'm not being judgmental to anyone, but I look at things from all types of angles, and I am realistic. I'm a realistic person. And if someone say to me, yeah, I love him, but I don't know how to love him. Well, what do you mean you love him and you don't know how to love him? First of all, love comes from within us, right?
Yeah.
And so it's not a mushy thing. It's not about feeling, because when that feeling goes, then do you actually love that person?
Correct.
Right? That's one thing. The other thing is that, so you look at someone and say, I love you, but you really don't know how to show the love. Like, it's confusing to me. It's a conflict.
Yeah.
And especially, that's why I would look at, are you depressed? Because you're not, you feel no emotion. And at the point where you're over 30, you have no excuse to talk about your parents, because you're grown.
Yeah.
You know the difference, and you know what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to stop blaming your family member.
Yeah. I agree with you. 1,000%.
You have to stop blaming them for things that you know that they did that was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially love. And especially if you're a Christian, especially if you're a child of God, and you can speak in tongues, you can pray your brains, you know how to lay hands.
Right.
And talk about you don't know love, then I'm over here. Do you know God then?
Right.
Because He is love. This is why I like even like where you're talking, and I'm analyzing, and I'm thinking like I said, I'm not a professional, I'm not any of that, but I deal with realistic. I deal with the present. I deal with what I can, where my mind is taking me to analyze the situation, and I try to break things down. Yeah, because it's important to be able to do that. Yeah. So, for anyone at any age that's saying, I don't know how to show love, but you're in a relationship, I'm going to tell you to seek help. If you can't talk to God about that, He has created a brain of someone who's a professional that will help you to be able to deal with that. Yeah. And especially if you have kids as well. What are you doing? Yeah. Are you able to show your children
how you differentiate
love?
That? Like how do you show love, to your kids, because you may have like the wrong interpretation of what love is, and now you're bringing this child up, and this child does not experience what it's like to be loved, that parent to a child love. And you see how you mentioned like the things like in a relationship, I feel like that ties into communication. You have to communicate like with your partner, right? So
you have to before you even reach a partner.
Yeah.
If you feel that you don't know what love is, you are doing you're being disingenuous to that person, because you're bringing a whole baggage of stuff that should have been dealt with before you even got in a relationship. That's why it's important for people to know. Yeah. I mean, I grow and I learn. It's important for people to know who they are. Yeah. Because you're gonna make it hard. You're gonna make it very hard on them, right? So when you get together like with them, and you're gonna confuse them, because I would think, or I know that you would think that if two people are coming together, these are two people who are coming together who are ready, and you never know until you actually start that somebody was really unprepared. Right? That's why you need to get to know your partner.
Yeah.
It's important, imperative that you get to know the person who you decide you want to spend the rest of your life with, because it's not a baby party. It's not for just now in the present, a year or two. It's for a lifetime. And even though as people grow, they change, you have to be willing to grow with them. You have to be able to say, well, you know what? I love you unconditionally. I'm ready to go all the way through. Yes, we're going to reach some bumpy road because that is just how life is.
Yeah, but we ride together.
We're riding to sundawn or whatever, dawn, whatever that is. But, and sundown, and then we are going to love each other, but you have to be able to love yourself individually.
Yes.
That is important. You have to be able to love yourself. And that's why, talking about people that don't know how to show love and stuff like that, it's kind of like hard for me to understand that. That's why I say maybe you're dealing with some sort of depression.
Oh yeah. It's something. There's a blockage somewhere. But what I was gonna say, like with communication, like if you make it to that place where you start the relationship, I feel like where things go wrong is when you and your partner don't have effective communication, right? You have to learn the things that each other desires, like from each other, right? What they want, from each other. Like because some people, they could say that they love you, but it's like in a real selfish way. So if you're just ignoring what this person is saying and you're doing what you want to do based off of what you feel is right, then it's like you're just self-satisfying yourself. You're not attending to your partner's needs, and that's dangerous. That's very, very dangerous, because it's like that's not going to produce happiness. That's going to produce problems.
But is the partner happy though? By the partner self? Because I think that's also important when it comes to relationship and love. We have to be able to be individually happy alone.
Yeah.
And together we have happiness with us.
Get to that place.
So that's important when it comes to relationship. And I've grown into learning things and to understanding things. So that's why I'm able to talk.
Of course.
I'm not 100%, I know it all or whatever, but experience teaches
that's
wisdom.
What I was going to say.
And
experience.
I kind of like am open-minded, and I analyze. I know everybody's different. But these basic things, these are basic standards for love and relationship. Each person needs to be happy on their own. It's not you make me happy and I make you happy. No, I make myself happy. What we do together is happiness. We enjoy each other. Because I bring my own thing, you bring your own thing. And that's how it's supposed to be. That's the real thing. You can't sit and wait for someone to make you happy. You better make yourself happy.
Yeah.
What happens if that person is not there anymore?
Then you go back to that same state that you was before that person came there, unhappy.
Because life brings unexpected things. And people sometimes, they grow and they're with you for 10 years and decide, you know what, I think this was a mistake.
Yeah,
and then they walk away. They want to walk away. Or they walk away. There's some people who've been, we see all these celebrities, 20-something years, and then they're gone out the door and stuff like that. I had that question in my head about that, and then I prayed about it, and I'm like, what is going on with all these divorces and stuff? And God was like, well, I didn't put them together. Because when he put something together, ain't nobody coming between that. It's not going anywhere. He doesn't change his mind.
What God put together, let no man tear apart.
That's right. So we have that to think about, and I hope a lot of people watch this episode of Love and and they do get something from it. So we know that love can be shown in a variety of ways, and it can come from family, partner, friends, and even strangers. Because I love a stranger. Just don't get violent and just don't let the devil use you to harm me. But I am I'm a very loving person. I think I say that a little bit too much, but that's just how it is. I know that someone may look different than me, but that doesn't mean I love them less.
Right.
I'm a person that believes in universal love, and I believe that God created all of us for his specific reason. Some of us think that we're better than the other ones, and I just never get it, because
what is that based on?
Yeah, that's just not it. But there are also different types of love. There's enduring love, the love that grows over time. People build intimacy physically and emotionally or intellectually, depending on whether the relationship is romantic, sexual, or platonic, right? And the universal love I just mentioned between human to human, we remember we are one, equal, and a part of something bigger than us. And then it comes to self-love. Right? This is the intersection of grace for the self, as well as accountability and ownership with self. It's like remembering that we are human, and we aren't perfect. And while you should hold yourself responsible when you use harm, you should also have some compassion for yourself when making a mistake. Right. Just don't beat yourself up, because like we said, we're not perfect, and we do make mistake. Practicing this healthy type of love does not just mean doing your nails or getting a facial. Self-love is making good decisions, planning, eating healthy, taking care of your body, your mind, your soul, assessing your friendship, making sure that that's healthy part of your life. We're going to go into that a little bit. Yeah. And other relationships, exploring changes. Right. So self-love is focusing on yourself and living intentionally. Yeah. And when we talk about assessing our friendship with people, we just going to not be taken for granted. We're not going to be here. I love you when? Like once a year? I mean, it's not like, for me, it's not like we have to be careful with how we show the word around so lightly and not mean it. Yeah. Not mean what love is. You're never there. Yeah, and that's the thing that people think that they can do, probably because they have other people in their life that actually accepts that, but you have to be the one that does not accept that, right? Be that one. Don't do what everybody else does, right? Don't accept no mediocre love. When you know that there are people out there that loves you and is visible and they pour into you, and you may have some people that are just like that, like a little tiny drop, and like, yo, I love you, that, and they think that they could just get away with that. But if you don't give, like, you're not giving that full effort. Like, why do you think that I'm gonna look at you and interpret that as you love me? There's a lot of people that's being fooled, and they are falling, for a lot of the things that people are saying, and we can't accept that. And I know when you mention like self-love and doing things, for yourself, but the part about being fooled is people try to buy you, from different things that they know that you like, things that you love. So it's like you're purchasing. Is this kind of like friendship, or like relationship wise? Like when you say like buy things for you, like what exactly? Well, that part will be like the relationship, part. So you may have somebody that may be like in a long relationship, and in their mind, in their interpretation, that person loves me. And it's like, no, they don't. They know what you love, and they're giving it to you. But all the other components that's supposed to come along, like with love, they're not giving that to you. So that means you're settling for being satisfied through material things, but that person has never moved your heart. That person have never in a relationship, like a man and a woman see each other. Yeah. Like, but some people, because people are blinded by things, right? Okay. So if you have not you specifically, if a person has an infatuation like with things, right? Because everybody loves what they love, right? So like, oh, I love this item, or I love that item. Sometimes certain things get ignored because of certain things that you may like. Right? Because of those are your desires. But when you know how to take
those things and push it to the side and say like, no, like I have all of those things, but what do those things like really mean? Like, if I lose all of those things today, can I stand here today as a person and say that this person actually loves me, that they actually care for me, that they're actually there for me, that they're actually dependable? If something happens, this person is by my side. If I get sick, that they won't leave, right? You know, these are all major things that people have to sit down and think about, because it's easy for a person to do certain things when the pressure is not on, right? But now when the pressure is on and now you're actually really tested, right? See, some people have not been tested with love through their relationship, but when you're tested, then you will see if that person can execute what they're supposed to, that they can really display real love, true love, not the illusion of love, you know, but real love.
Talking about married people?
Yo.
Or people just living in like long-term relationships and just they live home, they work, they go out, like, you know, like I'm always trying to break things down to try to get
I get it. Like, you know,
it's
but if you're
specifically are you talking about? Like, is it a marriage couple or is it just a couple that decide they're going to live together?
No, so not. Like, well,
like anything specific? No, just in a relationship and they know each other for a long time.
Even in a relationship, like even two people who are dating in comparison to two people who are married, right? So if you're dating, what are you dating for, right? Are you dating for a purpose?
Yeah, 1 year tops. You just got to put a ring on it because it's not making any sense.
Got you. Yeah. So it's like, are you dating? Are you dating?
No one has time to, you know, there's
play around,
wasting time. Yeah. Like, what are you doing? I mean, I think, and it's, I don't mean to cut you, and I know you're going to continue on, but I think when you like the third month or at least the fourth month, you should know if you want to spend the rest of your life with someone. And I think for a lot of men, people are guided by different things, and sometimes they can see you one night and know that, well, you gonna be it.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And then some need 3 months, some need 4 months, and then they decide. But when you're going 1 year, 2 years, like, what are you doing? Yeah,
when you see the time like dragging on, it's like,
don't waste no man, no woman, don't waste people's time. It's just not.
And you should question that. You should question that when you see.
You can't be waiting until you like 7 years in, then you over here like, but he never even.
Yeah.
You gave him 7 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a very, very long time. I've learned. So I can just tell you right now, like, it's a big no. And I think people, my aunts always used to say, come see me and come live with me is two different things, right? Because some people could be dating and, you know, they're living in their separate places, but you don't really actually know a person until you live with them and see what they're capable of. They like to drop their clothes in the bathroom, you clean up after yourself. Like, you know, all those little things that they do, you know, they don't like to help around the house. They're like, I'm King Mushweshwe. Like, I'm not going to do anything. I don't know. I remember you used to talk about that a lot. I remember where that king come from. But, you know, there's some men who just want to sit there and not do anything and think that, you know, women are supposed to cook and clean and everything. I mean, you got to help do something. Even if you're bringing the money in. Like, I don't care. You're going to help clean something.
I mean, I would hope that's something that happens.
Yeah, I'm blessed to have a cook, but you know, it's like I love that. Like, you have to be able to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's appreciative. But I think I'm going off track here a little bit. But I think you would know early on in a relationship if someone really loves you, and you really can't try to buy people's love. And even
this is what I would recommend, right?
Even if the woman is questioning it or realizing that they're buying their love, but you accepted all the gifts, are you going to give it back?
You know, some people.
No, are you gonna give back all the gifts? Like, is that something you're gonna do?
Yeah, you know what I was gonna say is like, you know, stepping into a relationship and you know getting to a place of love. I feel like people have to also know what they want. Otherwise, that's just gonna bring like a whole lot of confusion. You don't know what you want.
You know what you need to know what. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
As a woman.
Yeah.
You need to know what you deserve, not what you want, what you deserve.
Yes.
Because our wants are not sometimes what we deserve to have. Because we have to have that pride in ourselves.
Yes.
You know, we have to have certain. We deserve the best.
Yes.
So it's not our wants, and sometimes you know we want nonsense. So you know, and so and it's what we need, our necessity, and like I said before, it's what we deserve. We're not looking about, well, you know, we have to make sure they understand that part, especially women.
I think when I use like I agree with you to deserve, right? Mm-hmm. So I think like when I'm saying like wants, it's like when I'm not putting wants over deserves, but I'm just saying it's like if somebody's asking you a question and you don't know how to answer it, like, and you expect someone to be a mind reader, you know, you're making the person's job hard, right?
You lack communication skills.
Yeah. So it's like how much does a person have to dig? I mean, you may have some people out there that say like, oh, well, you know, you just supposed to just like read me and like figure out like, you know, I'm not that different. Like, no one should have to have that job. You know, I feel like that kind of stuff is like an excuse for you having bad communication skills.
Yeah.
And you just need to improve and know how to communicate, you know, effectively. And I feel like once you're in a relationship, you have to make things very clear. You know, you have you know, where you stand with certain things. And I feel like when you communicate and both of you put things on the table, then there's no surprises, right? So I think a lot of times people, they get surprised like as time goes on, like in a relationship. So you can go a few years in a relationship and you're infatuated with all these other things, and then you're sitting down on year 3 and you're like, honey, I want to have a baby. I want no babies. And you never knew that. How is that a conversation that you tap into on year 3? Like, you know, so now you're like, wow.
Ask her why she don't want a baby.
Yeah, but it's like, but I'm just saying, like, these are like, no, I'm saying like these are things that you should already like know, like when you're courting, know. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Of course, when you're dating, you need to ask, do you want a family?
Right.
Do you think a boy and a girl, just one child? Like, what do people
skip too many steps.
Yeah, there's too many steps that they skip, and you really need to ask. You need to get to know, you know, your partner or whoever you're dating to understand them better. You know, and I know there's sometimes the church force people into getting married. Yeah. And that right there is like, oh, just go marry him or go marry her or whatever the case is. Not good. And then you're like, yeah. You can't be dating this lady for too long and not marry her. 6 months, they already want you to get married. You don't even know what the person likes. But hey, we go to church, we go home, at work, we talk here and there. Nobody gets to know each other because it's being forced on them.
And you know what's the bad thing about that,
besides
Derry?
The fact of that, at least you should try and figure out even the first year. Yeah. Like, okay, are we going to have a baby? Or do you like children? What is going to happen? Don't wait for 8-9 years. Then you over here being all miserable and sad. Who's to blame for that?
Yeah. No, correct. No, what I was going to say is that the bad thing in with what you were saying, like with the church forcing like the marriages to happen like at this like fast pace. Now, you force it upon a person that wasn't ready, that wasn't prepared, and now when it falls apart, where are you people who forced it, right? You don't say anything. You're gonna find all kind of reasons on why it fell apart when the actual reason was they wasn't ready. They wasn't prepared. You just saw that those are two people that were dating. Those are two people that you like, no, you just got to hurry up and just do it. But they had to go through some more. They had to go through and learn each other more. And that process was rushed.
And that's one thing about trusting the shepherd, you know, because the pastor is the shepherd of the church and that's his flock.
Right.
You trust the pastor without... This is what happens a lot in church, where it's like they don't teach you how to build that personal relationship with God.
Yeah.
Because you don't have that one-on-one channel. You know how to pray, yeah, but you don't know how to ask the right question. You haven't learned how to do that. So God can tell you, well, I know what they're saying, but that's not it.
Right. Right.
So then now you just listen to the shepherd where he say, I think y'all should marry. You know how many times the church tell me I think you should marry? I'm like, who? When? Why? Who said that?
Yes.
When, how, who? That? I mean, he's a great guy, but no.
Yeah. You gotta, and you gotta challenge. You gotta challenge these things because at the end of the day,
I'm not challenging nobody. I'm just gonna be. I'm going over there.
I'm saying like when they say when they say
I was approached more than once about marrying this particular person in my church. I busted out laughing.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, he's good looking, man. I get it." But I started laughing, and then I was like, "Yeah, okay. I don't need to say nothing." Because one thing you're not gonna do is force me into something I didn't agree on.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm glad that I have the right and privilege, like a lot of women out there that don't in the world, in other places where they don't have a choice. They're forced into marriage, these young girls, and here I go, these things come up where they're young age, maybe 9, 10, 11, don't even know who they are as a woman, don't even know how their body works, but they're getting married to men in 50s and stuff like that. It's being forced onto them. I'm not dealing with stuff like that. Are you crazy?
And you shouldn't.
So unfortunately, the things that happen with the people that are already married 9, 10 years and not know exactly what their partner wants, I pray for them. Because at this point, there's nothing else to do. And then we have to let God lead the way. You know, life brings different challenges in relationship. It stretches it and see which way it can go. Is it going to last? It is built for this. That's why God is important to have in your life and you know, your spirituality of knowing whose you are, so you know that you can turn to him to help you through the tough paths and stuff like that. And when you are unhappy in a relationship, for me, if I'm unhappy in a relationship, I'm talking to God about it, because he doesn't want his kids, his children, to be sad.
No, not at all.
If someone is making me happy, I am out. I'm opening the door myself.
If they're making you unhappy.
Unhappy.
Yeah.
Did I say happy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
No.
Don't leave if they're making you happy.
No, I ain't going nowhere. But like, if that person is making me unhappy, I know that's not of God. God wants me to be happy. He wants me to have a fulfilled life.
Yeah.
And all the things that he has placed on us to have. Like, he's blessed us with so many great things. And I know that he wants that for me. So at the end of the day, anything that's making me unhappy, it's not gonna work out. If I'm struggling with it year 1, year 2, I'm living in that zone where I'm even lashing out at the people around me. I'm putting on this fake persona that we're happy, we're good, we're in love, we love each other. And when the cameras or whatever is off, you're over here like
doors, is that what it
you're
what,
fighting
what it
for
really
your
is?
life. You're drowning.
Yeah.
Like, no one deserves that.
Yeah. And you're doing a disservice to yourself. Like, why are you gonna even go through that? Like, because like, for who?
For why?
You know, it's like at the end of the day, you gotta go back home and you gotta live your reality. You know?
For sure.
You gotta live your reality.
So let's move on because we're running out of time.
Yes.
Passionate love can be passion-led or companion-led. If you feel passionate love, Not sure what that is, but that's
Nice.
my own writing, and I have no idea what I just wrote. Not because partners are caring together doesn't mean there aren't still individuals. It's imperative, and I think we touch on that,
Yes, yes.
that both people still have their own relationships
Yeah.
with friends and family
Yeah.
outside of the ship.
Yeah.
But we have to use discernment. We have to ask God, even in every aspect of our lives, especially when it comes to friendships.
Yeah.
Not because you know someone 10 years means you know them today.
Yes,
Who they
yes.
have become,
That's
who they've
right.
changed to.
That's right.
You know, and sometimes people have to stop at the street before you. They get off there.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
stop right there,
Yeah.
that's where they get off.
That's their
and
stop.
unfortunately, sometimes we don't like that. Sometimes we still want to keep that connection.
But it's like you said, it's discernment.
If people are
it's very
not-
important to have that spirit of discernment.
They're not fruitful, they're not encouraging, they're not motivating, they're not doing anything, they're stagnant. They talk about the same thing they talked about last year.
Yeah.
And 3 years ago, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
I know sometimes people will be like, well, you changed. Well, you're not changing. We
Yeah.
have a problem.
Exactly. Yeah, I like that. That's like, oh, please, like
We are
you know,
growing.
many times I've heard that, and it's like
We are
I'll
growing.
look at you. I would turn and look at you and say, it's sad that you're still the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you're like, some people are proud to say, I'll never change. Wait, you're saying that out loud? Like, you'll never change? Like, no. That means that you're not growing. Like, why would you want to be the exact same way that you were 10, 15, 20 years ago? Something's wrong with you.
Yeah. And let's talk about the deep friendship, a platonic form of love.
Yeah.
You know each other's inside world. You care about and trust the other person. Surprise, surprise, it is healthy.
Of course.
It provides a person space you can depend on and confide on, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
there's some
It's
people that...
very important. It's very important to have, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like God didn't put us on this planet to seclude ourselves and put ourselves like in a box, right? There's gonna be people that you encounter, that in your life that
are really good friends.
Yes.
And it's people that you can trust and you can call on, or you can have that deep conversation
Yeah.
with, and you can open up and share ideas and help each other build and talk about stuff outside of the box. There's no gossiping, and it's just conversation,
Yeah.
real life conversations about making the world better, because that's what we're here for.
Yeah, just it's great. It's great to have people like that, and those who don't have it, you should try it.
Try sometime.
Try it.
And then there's a familiar love, which is like one of the longest lasting forms of love that you have with your family. Regardless of what you go through with them, that love still remains. You're always going to love your mom and your dad and your brothers and sisters, even though they get on your nerves.
Yeah.
But it is a healthy love as well. Deep friendship and familiar love also connect a bit, because they both have a deep-rooted connection that they bring to a relationship, which fosters trust, respect, and support. So before I go there, I want to talk about the selfless love, which is agape love. The selfless love is the art of giving and offering love without expectation, without anything in return. Feeling selfless is the ultimate pursuit and highest form of love. People who radiate such kind of love hold virtues like kindness and compassion for everyone. To be selfless is to speak the language of true love, and that's what God teaches us all. So, if you feel like, is there anything you want to add here? But if you feel like there's a lack of love in your life, remember that you are... Sometimes I write and I'm like, what did you just write here? Remember your family. That's deep love, and your friends that support you.
Right.
And when you're at your lowest moments, it never hurts to practice some self-love on yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Because sometimes we reach for people who are not going to be there.
Yeah.
And I think we need to make sure that we are loving ourselves truly. We understand what it is to love.
Yeah.
what is the true meaning of love?
Yeah.
What is the true meaning of love?
Yeah.
And caring for others, and what else? You want to say anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I feel it's important for people to also know where you're investing your time towards, or who are you choosing to show love to, because you can invest your time in the wrong direction, and that's one of the easiest ways to get hurt. And when you're seeing like repeated hurt is coming from a place from someone that doesn't love you, but you keep throwing love, in that direction. And the thing that you and me was talking about with the expectations versus reality,
Mm-hmm.
when you understand who you're dealing with when it comes to expectations versus
Mm-hmm.
reality, you don't get disappointed, right? So it's like, I could look at the relationship that you and me have, and I know it's solid, right? And it's like, I know who you are, right?
Is it really?
It's not solid.
I always like to do that too.
I know
Is
you
it
do.
really?
I know you do. I know. We joke around a lot off of this. No, but like honestly, like we know the relationship that we have, and it's like any expectations that I may have like for you is for the relationship that we have. The reality matches the expectations. And I feel like when people get disappointed, they look at somebody and they think that they know that person, and they have like these expectations, like this person's gonna definitely do this or whatever, and the reality is that they're not, right? So the reality, and the reason that you're seeing you're not is because you really don't understand who you're dealing with. And I feel like a lot of people, they don't understand who they're dealing with, and that is where that repeated disappointment keeps coming in, keeps showing up in a lot of people's lives. So it's very important to know who you love, and respect the love that you have, and understand. You see that you used the word deserve earlier, and yes, you have to know what you deserve, because once you know what you deserve, you'll understand what you're not going to settle for, right?
What we're not going to do.
Yeah, what we're not going to do is settle for any of that mediocre.
But we're allowed to show some people some grace. But I think what we also need to realize is, and for me, if someone shows me time and time again that they don't want to be a part of my life, well, I'll open the door wider for you. Because, okay, you don't. Like, why am I going to force things that are not meant to be there any longer?
Yeah.
You have to be able to release that and let it go. I'm not forcing any friendship.
Yeah.
I mean, we're different because we communicate with each other,
right.
And we are constantly in contact, not only because of Two Cherries One Chat, but because of our friendship. Not because of
even way before we started
Instagram
this.
or anything like that, because we have built that friendship, right? So we communicate with each other, and if I'm not available, I'll be like, I'm out. I'm going away somewhere, and you do the
Likewise,
same. Like, I'm going away somewhere, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
So we know we have a friendship that's understanding, that it's like, okay, this is my friend. We are constantly in contact, and if I'm not going to be around, we share that information, like we're not going to be here, whatever the case is. Now, if I have another friend out there that's not showing me, like we don't have that kind of relationship, I don't even look at it as a relationship.
Yeah.
Like, it died where it died.
Yeah.
And I know that sometimes I can be a little cold, like in that type of way, but I've learned so many things.
It's time to start saying it like that.
If God shows me certain people's faces and I refuse to see who they really are, then He's just gonna make me walk right into that wall and bonks my head.
But that's what it is, Derry. And I'm proud to say that that's where I'm at. Like, in my life, we're just, like as I get closer to God, like I have to understand what he's telling me. You know, a lot of times people would say, God, show me a sign, reveal it to me, let me know what it is. And then it's like he does it, and then you're still standing there shocked. You don't get to choose the sign that he shows you. You understand? So he's going to show you what he shows you, and even if you're standing there in shock, he's like, look, listen, I showed it to you. I know it was going to shock you, right? But the reality is, this is what it is. Mm-hmm. And you're still sitting there like, but not this person, but it can't be. And he's telling you, it is. It is. And sometimes it's going to be the ones that you least expect. But that's just what it is. But it's so now that you have the information in you and he revealed it to you, what is it that you're going to do now? What is it that you're going to do with that information, right? So are you going to stay there in your life and sit in denial, or are you going to make moves, right? Because now you can't ask him to show you again. He showed it. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's very important.
Why, you just have to be careful, because the hearts of men are deceitful, and we have to be able to understand that that's part of it. That's how it is, and we can't change it. I mean, God already laid it out to us. This is what it is, people.
This is what it is.
Either you follow me, or I don't know what to tell you. You wouldn't know what's happening, and yeah. So I think that is very important to know.
Yeah.
And I hope that you learned so much from this episode
of love.
Two Cheers, One Chat. Love topic. Don't forget to grab copies of our books.
Yes. Tell
the
people your
Child
book.
Within and The Scars I Come With, available wherever books are sold.
All right, and my books.
And Rudolph is at page 22. The book has been out since 1 year ago.
Stop, Terry. That's our relationship. We do that all the time. Like that's just us, and that's great. Where you're not afraid to like go places like with your friend and joke, because we built that, and I love that. So my books right here are Pages of Potency and Visual Revelations, and both of these books you can find on Amazon right now. Get them now. They're discounted.
I don't know what's going on with Amazon, but anyway, that's another story for another day. I'm just tired.
The prices?
Yeah, they be doing their own thing, like it's their book, they're the author, whatever.
Yeah, they drop in the prices on us.
Like I'm planning, like not, no, stop. Anyway, thank you for watching Two Cheers, One Chat. You can find us on Instagram at Two Cheers, One Chat, and on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, share, tell your mother, your father, your friends, your cousin, your boyfriends, whoever, whenever, however. Thank you again. I am Derry Cox.
Rudolph Thurman.
Find us on Instagram at our personal handle. I am Derry Cox, Derry's Poetry Lounge.
And mine's is Poetry is Visual. That's Poetry IZ Visual.
Give them a private. No, I'm just playing. All right, thank you so much. Who's chatting in the chairs?
We are.